Hey, how are you? My name is Zachary Green, and I'm gonna be going over my Crown Castle internship, which is in Charlotte, North Carolina, and my internship position is the credit and collections analyst intern. So to start, to go into details about the position, first of all, Crown Castle is a telecommunication company, and they have signal towers all over the U.S. My specific position is, I said before, the credit and collection analyst intern. And my responsibilities include analyzing different types of data in their system, and whether this may be payments from third-party companies, accounts receivable data, and accounts overpayments slash credit, or accounts payable data, etc. And another responsibility also includes applying cash to these daily invoices that we receive every day. So basically, we receive a bunch of payments every day, and then you have to take these different payments and match them to the right invoice. And that's what every day, it's a responsibility that I have with a team. And then also you have to reconcile these accounts, so sometimes it's like automated. So sometimes some accounts aren't applied to the right spots. You have to go back in and, fix it. Also organizing the account info, making sure everything's organized and, making sure the notes are on the right spots for each account and, make sure you're following each like remittance notice, et cetera, and stuff like that. Next, I'm going to go into the company profile. And Crown Castle is one of the biggest providers of wireless communication infrastructure. You see any cell tower, most of them are ours. It's like we're one of the biggest ones in the U.S. And they own a bunch of companies such as Wilkin, Light Tower, FiberNet. And right now they're really trying to like expand their portfolio and gain as many companies under their belt as they can. Up to date, they have over 500 employees and over 100 different offices. The offices are in Charlotte, Tampa. There's another one more in Florida and stuff like that. There's way many more offices. They provide also telecommunication services to major U.S. companies through signal towers, small cell nodes, and fiber. The signal towers are one in the picture. They're very, see them sometimes. They're sometimes protected by a bunch of fences and stuff like that on the road. And then you see the small cell nodes. These are the ones in the poles like you see on the street. The ones like the box at the top, those are the small cell nodes. And then there's the fiber, which runs through everything and connects everything to the towers and the small cell nodes. You need the fiber as required. So when it comes down to my team in my location, we pretty much analyze the incoming funds daily. We're on the finance, like cash application side. So we pretty much match payments with the correct invoices, as I said before. And then with these invoices, when you're matching them, there's overpayments, there's late fees, there's duplicate payments, and there's missed charges. And sometimes like people overpay due to not to overpaying a late fee when they didn't have to, or there was a past due balance that they paid when they didn't have to, or they didn't pay enough. It's like there's always something going on with each account. And sometimes people pay duplicate payments. They'll pay the same invoice, but they'll pay it twice. So we have to like credit that back to them. So now I'm gonna go into the work plan, and this pretty much is just like what I've been assigned and what I'm working on throughout my my time. So to start off, there's the LTSB project, and this is a big project I've been working on through Excel. And pretty much it's leftover money in customer accounts. So LTSB is just, let's say, someone sends in a payment, and they accidentally pay the late fee when they didn't have to, their extra money is sitting in their account. So it's the credit. We owe them that money, whether it be on an invoice or we have to send it back to them. It's owed to them. So there's three types of accounts. There's the current account, which is they're all up to date on their invoices. They paid every invoice for the next month, for the prior months, they're up to date, but we owe them money. And there's the past due. The past due goes into, they're not up to date on their payments. They still have a couple invoices open, and they also have credit on their account. And, what people don't know, like they have this credit on their account, that's the issue. And then also there's inactive accounts, and this is where, they don't have any service with us, and we owe them money still. So it's a big issue. And this whole project is pretty much me finding a way to minimize the amount of credit that we owe them, which is LTSB. And this is through like a big mail merge process. So I'm gathering all the data in Excel. I'm gathering all the correct information. Like they're like different routing numbers, and there's the proper account information. Finding the database, because they're not all in the same spot. And I'm gathering in, doing different visualizations because we owe over $3 million in credit. So I'm trying to display it as best as I can, and I'm trying to reach out to as many people as I can, and trying to minimize it as much as I can in the time I'm there. Also, there's a cell tower case study. There's hundreds of interns through Crown Castle, in different departments, and I'm assigned with like 5 other group members, and we're given an example case study, and it's pretty much deciding whether to implement a cell tower and different types of small cell nodes in this area, and whether it's what's the best possibility, whether it be upgrading the existing tower or implementing a new one based on like a new company that's moving into the area. And then, different decisions must be made on the scenario. You look into the finances, you look into like the area around it, you look into the laws, etc. And you have to work as a team to like figure out the best decision. And then you present to your supervisor. We've used things like Excel, and also teamwork obviously comes in handy, and you got to communicate like all the time. We meet a bunch of times a week, and we're trying to communicate as much as possible. Then comes the cash application. I've gone to it a little bit before, but I'm going to go in a little more detail. With cash application, there's only checks and wires. We only take checks and wires. And we're pretty much analyzing these check and wire payments from, third party. We only deal with third party as well. There's no we're just dealing with a customer. We're dealing with big companies like Apple, Microsoft, like stuff like that. And each payment must be allocated to the proper invoice, the proper account, and new payments are sent in each day. There's usually like average around like $5 million coming in every day in payments. This is coming in an Excel spreadsheet. We're given an Excel spreadsheet, and we have to cross-reference based on the accounts with our databases, and pretty much, make sure this proper invoice for X amount of dollars is matching up with the proper payment for X amount of dollars. And if it was submitted wrong, sometimes the computer automatically match them together. We have to fix that. And we use like different things like BillView, Oracle, and we have to also look at the specific checks, and we have to look at like the different remittance letters and just make sure everything's like straight. Make sure everything's like, matched up. I'm going to go into the experience summary. Obviously, like being here, I learned that the company values are purple. This is a new company values that have been instilled in the past year, I think. And it's people matter, us together, right? Do the right thing, and then pursue excellence, learn and grow, and embrace stewardship. Also, with my experience, my Excel skills improved greatly. Like I've learned way more like functions in Excel than I've known before, and the functions I've known before, I've strengthened them greatly. Also, I learned how to reconcile accounts, which is really cool. I've never seen accounts like big accounts like this, and looking at the data is really cool. And you're able to I learned how to match everything up to the right spot, which is great. And then working with big data sets is really key. Like in the future, I want to work with a big company, and having that experience of working with big data sets is like these, it really helps. And then communicating with large companies, getting these communication skills that I'm getting from communicating with companies and the accounts payable teams of these companies is great. It's great experience, and it's great. It improves my professionalism and improves like the skills I need to succeed in my future. Then also working with a team. I'm going to be working with teams for the rest of my life, I assume, in my job, especially in my field. And the collaboration skills are really important to gain through this. Also like teamwork skills as well. Then it goes into the problem solving, which is pretty much how I help at the company. As I said before, the LTSB project, I'm pretty much helping minimalizing that $3 million in credit. I'm implementing like an Excel, I have an Excel spreadsheet that I set up. So even when I'm not working there, it can be continued in the future. So I'm going to help minimize the $3 million in credit based on what I created, and also and using it. Also, the cash application side, I'm applying cash to the correct accounts. So by me doing that, it limits the amount of credit that we have. So making sure everyone's happy, the cash is applied to the right spots, it's needed. Then also the account reconciliation, which is fixing the mischarged accounts. Again, limiting the amount of credit that there is, because if something's mischarged, there's sometimes an overbalance, there's a leftover balance, and that balance then is credited and it becomes a mess. So you have to make sure everything's applied to the right spot. And then it comes to the weaknesses, I feel. So when I go into the weaknesses, I feel like there's a few weaknesses at the company, but not a lot, obviously. But I feel like as time is going on, technology is becoming more and more of a very important thing, whether it be in the workspace or just in your day-to-day life. But as I said before, we only take check and wire payments. So this is kind of hard for a lot of things, because check and wire payments take some time to process. So it can lead to a lot of duplicate payments, etc. So I think a big change is us allowing people to pay with credit cards or debit card, or even Apple Pay. It's like everyone's using Apple Pay these days, and our credit cards and debit cards have always been very popular, and implementing that will make, first of all, increase business, because maybe some people want to pay with a credit debit card, but also it makes everything easier. And this can also be done by introducing apps on the phone. So introducing apps on the phone, like a Crown Castle app that someone can manage their own account at home and see what they pay exactly and how much amount and pay through their phone makes everything really easy. Also, speaking of apps, you could also introduce a lot of new technology to be used. We also run a lot of data reports based on the finances that come in every day. And we use Excel, we use a couple other things, to run the data reports through Oracle. But I feel like, using different systems, maybe like more Power BI or like introducing a little more SQL or some stuff like that, or would really help out and, simplify everything. And overall, that's about it. I feel like I've learned a great amount at this company so far, and it's a great position that I have here at Crown Castle, and I'm really happy with everything I've been doing. And I feel like a lot of the things I've learned here, I'm definitely going to take with me in my future experiences, and they're going to get me really far. And thank you for listening.